if you ever go to my channel and decide to watch the period 3 version, there will be differences. And I messed up in period 3 a lot today. We have a shorter period because of the pep rally, and then we had the Great American Shakeout during third period. And so all these things were eating my time. My brain was going a mile a minute, and I was making errors all over the place. Oh, a few times in one of them. Yeah. So I'd comment more on that, but I'm being recorded. So anyhow, guys, the definition of a parabola. We're going to get the strict mathematical definition of a parabola going first. For a given point called the focus, and a given, so that's that one right there, and a given line not through the focus called the directrix, a parabola is the locus, which means collection, the collection of points such that the distance to the focus equals the distance to the directrix. That's a whole lot. Think of a circle. A circle is a set of points the same distance from the center, right? So if I pick a distance from the center, where else is this far away from the center? Here, 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 here. So I get a circle built, right? So a parabola is a set of points where if I pick any point on the parabola, and they did it with this pink line right here, we can pick any other point on it. If I pick a point on the parabola, then if I draw a line, this distance from that point to the focus and that point to the directrix, those are the same length. That is the definition of a parabola. So that's how we can create one. That's how we can create one. And that lets us, any point on the parabola will be the same distance to the focus and the directrix, which is why I said in this case I think a picture is in order. Ladies, you okay? Oh, okay. That's funny. Okay, it is. It is. Obviously, Natalia just starts breaking out. All right. So the directrix, I want two. I like one of the observations that period 3 gave me I didn't think about, but it's a super important observation. And there's one observation that I also need you guys to make on this, and we're going to talk about it. So I need two observations regarding this picture that you can see. Like, Mr. Bates, I noticed that. That's how we'll start our sentence. Destiny, start our sentence. Mr. Bates, with a pause denoting the comma. Mr. Bates, I noticed that. What do you mean? Oh, there's no y-axis here. There are no axes. The purple line. So you're talking about this and this? Okay. So the latus rectum is the horizontal line inside the parabola that goes through the focus. We're not going to be working with it. Destiny's saying that this distance and this distance are the same. So it's tied to what you're saying. What I'm looking for is tied to what you're saying. It's a very easy observation. I'm not asking for anything super complicated. So one of them is exactly as complicated as Destiny just said. Destiny, you want to try again? And then I'll let Bethany jump in. The focus, I like where you're going, is. Oh, so you're overcomplicating it, but you are precisely on the same. No, she made the observation. I'm not going to reword it. I'm going to see first of all if anybody here can reword it. She said the focus is twice the distance from the directrix as the vertex. Somebody give me an easier way of describing that. Bethany? Okay, easier way of saying that. What's in the middle? The vertex is in the middle. The vertex is exactly between the focus and the directrix. Okay? So that's very much like you said that these are equal. That's what I'm looking for. Okay? The focus and the vertex and the directrix are the exact same distance apart. So this and this are equal. Go ahead and we're going to write in what those are in a little bit. So just be aware that we're going to write the distance from the vertex to the focus and the vertex to the directrix in just a bit. Elias? Okay. So one more, One more observation. We'll see if we get it or not. If not, I'll probably just give it to you. Isabella? No, it's just saying that any point I pick, I'm always going to get a line like that. Any point, anywhere. And those are always going to be equal. Or congruent, I should say, to use proper geometry terms. Elias? We're not going to talk about that. It's not about that. Okay? Something about the purple line. Axis of symmetry. Something about it. So the words axis of symmetry, if the sentence is worded, I believe, as easily as possible, that'll be the end of the sentence. The end of the sentence. Yes. The focus and vertex are on the axis of symmetry. Okay? The focus and vertex are on the axis of symmetry. This visual model is super important to logically answer these questions. If we focus on, pardon the pun, but if we focus on this chart that follows this, we're going to get lost. If we tie it back to the picture, we'll be better, I hope. Hope. Come on. There it goes. Wow. All right. So I'm going to copy or cut both of these over. We're all going to laugh at you. Okay. So now we have this gigantic chart. I'll give you on a minor, ladies, on a minor assessment, I will give you a little bit of this chart. A little bit. And it won't just be given, it's probably going to be in the form of like matching or something like that. So you've got to figure everything out. But it's not too bad. Now, first of all, our basic vertical parabola. We already went over vertical parabolas, right? If the A is negative, what happens to it? Flips it upside down. Okay. So we have plus or minus A, and then the H and K, just like the circle, or if you guys don't recall, the H is moving it left and right, and the K is moving it up and down, right? So we should remember that. So now we can bring in horizontals. Look at what happens. The Y just becomes X. That X becomes Y. Be careful. K is always paired with Y's, and H's are paired with X's, so it'll be Y minus K instead, and then plus H. So if you know the vertical parabola formula, you'll know the horizontal. Things are just swapped. Right? And that makes us this instead of this. Yes? K is still up and down. This is why it's paired with Y, because the Y is your vertical axis, K is always your ups and downs. But since it's in parentheses here, you do opposites. All right? We do opposites. No, that's... Yeah. Elias? So this is our normal parabola, which looks like this. And if it's negative, it looks like this, right? But we can make a parabola that looks like that. And that's swapping it. It turns it sideways. Okay? So if A is positive here, we're going to open to the right. And if A is negative, we're going to open to the left. But all those things, it's all right. Vertex is HK. Either way you go. HK. Just like the center of a circle is HK, the vertex of the parabola is HK. Are we okay with that? Did that go over anybody? Okay. Axis of symmetry. Vertical lines are always x equals some number. X equals some number is a vertical line. If you see x equals, you better not give me a diagonal line. That has a y and an x in it. Y equals mx plus b, that's your diagonal line some way, shape, or form. If you just see x equals, that's a vertical line. If you see y equals, that's a horizontal line. Don't ask me, because I've already covered how come this is the y-axis, but it's x equals. All right. So of course the axis of symmetry, as Destiny pointed out earlier, the axis of symmetry x equals h because the vertex is on the axis of symmetry. So of course the axis of symmetry has to equal the x value of the vertex. The axis of symmetry has to equal the x value of the vertex because the vertex has to be on the axis of symmetry. The vertex, since the vertex is on the axis of symmetry, right? Right. So if x has got to go, if it's got to go through there, well then it's x equals whatever that x value is. Right? We swap these, y equals k is the axis of symmetry for the other one. Then we get to the funkiness. This is where people lose it. Okay? Focus and directrix. Focus and directrix. The focus of a parabola is h comma k plus 1 over 4a. The directrix of a parabola is y equals k minus 1 over 4a. And then we start like, man, there's a fraction, and there are multiple variables, and there are 3 variables in this for crying out loud. For Pete's sake, I don't know how I'm going to remember this, Mr. Bates. And that's the key to the first observation that you guys stated. What was the first observation? Somebody raise their hand and tell me. What was the first observation? Holly? The what? The vertex is in the middle. Which means, what can we say about these two distances, Holly? They are equal. I want you to think about that. Okay, Seth? Well, almost. I see what you're saying. Kind of yes. Kind of yes, not completely, but you're on the right line of thought. Okay? So if the focus, this is a vertical parabola, we okay with that? Okay. We can rotate, we can mess with this later, but the concept, this is a vertical parabola, so I'm looking at everything about vertical parabolas, right? This and this are the same, the two distances. Here's the formula for focus. Here's the formula for directrix. I want you to think, what do you think the value of this distance is? Sione? Oh, okay, hand went back down. What is the value of this distance? It's a positive or negative what? Seth? Elias? No. What's the vertex? Riley? No. It's going to be a value here. Okay? What is the vertex, guys? Say it. HK. The focus. Does it look a lot like the vertex? What's the difference? What's the difference between the directrix and that k value? Minus 1 over 4a. So the distance that's here must be that much. The distance to here must be that much. So that distance is 1 over 4a. That's a huge concept for this. The distance from the vertex to the focus is 1 over 4a. The distance, now I'm talking distance, which is always positive. The distance from the focus, the vertex to the directrix is 1 over 4a. They are the same. The distance is positive, but you're going to subtract to get that one, if it's upright facing. Okay? It depends on which way if the parabola is facing up, the focus is above, so it's plus, and the directrix is below, so it's minus. If the parabola was facing down, the focus would be minus because it's below the vertex, and the directrix would be plus because it's above. And then we have our sideways versions. Okay? What are we making? Pokemon references or something? I don't know. Okay. I see Alfaro looking over, and he's like, Mr. Bates, are you drawing the unknown? Elias. No, I just answered that. It varies. It varies. Okay. Now, from here, I jump straight to the workbook questions. I'm going to highlight what the workbook says to do because I'm going to, if you want to look in the book and see how they solve everything, great. But I'm going to ignore them. I have no issue. Let me be clear about that. Math has so many ways to be solved. If you guys get a tutor, go online, have some other methodology of solving, and as long as it's mathematically appropriate, not photo math or cheating of some sort, then I'm fine with whatever you do. You will never hear me say you have to solve it my way, with one exception. If I'm teaching a particular skill, like completing the square, and then I give you an assessment that says solve by completing the square, I expect you to solve by completing the square. Months later, if you're like, I forgot how to complete the square, but I remember the quadratic formula, have at it. I'm not teaching completing the square this time. You can use whatever method you'd like. So this, if this throws you off, guys, and you want to go take a look at how the book does it, we'll do that. But for now, let's go ahead and open your workbooks. I'm so glad that third period got the drill today because of the fact that it gave me that point months later to give them that 1 point that you guys got being awesome. Oh, Kaylee's like mad. She's like mad that they got an opportunity that she got. Wow. Months ago, we had a fire drill, and I said if you guys are really awesome about it, you get 1 point of extra credit. So they finally had that makeup opportunity. So. To answer, by the way, because for time-wise, I'll finally answer Riley's question. Okay, no, there will not be homework tonight but I had to make sure we get through a certain amount because tomorrow's a minimum day and we will be finishing this tomorrow where there will be homework. Okay? You can't have it not 2 days in a row, Raymond. Don't throw your pencil down. Guys, my sympathy levels, ever since, I know I've only done it once now, but as long as I keep doing it, my sympathy levels, since I'm literally posting your homework solutions, is about 0. So when you guys come in, you're like, Mr. Bates, I didn't get the homework. I'm going to be. So.
It's so helpful because I pause it and check my answers.
And I think I say in there, make sure you pause it, because I'm going fast.
I solve it first.
Yeah. Okay. So, we're going to take up lots of room. Let me be clear here. If you guys want coherent notes, and this even goes for Sione, if you guys want coherent notes on this, do not squeeze it onto your workbook page. I'm not going to mother you. I'm not going to come check it, but you're not going to understand what you did if you try to squeeze this in one place, because I want to use logic processes to solve this, not the distance formula. That's ridiculous. Okay? Use the distance formula to find the equation of a parabola with the given focus and directions. I don't even know what they mean by that. I know how I would do it, and I feel like logically it makes sense. We're going to do it that way. First step. What's up? Later on. Right now, yes. So let me answer it twofold, Sione. Do not write this down. Do not write this down. I gave you the equation of a parabola is y equals a times x minus h squared plus k, because for Pete's sake, that's what we've been using for standard form of all functions, and it makes sense. Could have a plus or minus in front if I want. What they give is they say, let's subtract k to both sides. Okay, not terrible. That's not a big difference, I suppose, right? They do that. But then they say, I don't want to work with A, so I'm going to call A 4P. That's what I said, right? Because when I learned math, when I learned this stuff in math, I learned about A, and we always used A. Some point, years after I started teaching, I open up a new textbook, and they're like, we've got this value P. And I'm like, what the heck is P? I don't know. P doesn't replace A. There is a formula for P that you have to use A to find P. Why? Why don't we just keep A and not worry about P? And Dimitri's just obsessed with urine right now because he's laughing his butt off. What's up? It will be the same parabola no matter which one you use, but it will not be the answer that the book gets or the authors of that text get. Okay? You'll see. Anyhow, okay. So we're going to, P is out. You know, normally I don't get this in the Algebra 2 and above crowd. And I'm surprised I'm getting it here because when I say latus rectum, most people, you know, I'm usually good and people don't laugh. And I figured that's where people would laugh. And you were stoic. You were good. You were like latus rectum. Yeah, got you, Mr. Bates. Okay? And then all of a sudden I say P. That's it. He's slain. All right. Okay. Oh, pisamos. Don't go mimis. All right. Guys, the first thing I do with these, whether or not you want to, I'm not looking for perfection. I make a quick sketch of what they give me, and so much information is given immediately from it. The focus is 6-0, and the directrix is, so focus is 6-0, directrix is -3, x equals -3. So I'm going to make a quick sketch. 6-0 is really far over there. So, no, I don't want to be them. So my focus is 6-0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And my directrix is x equals -3. Not x equals -b. Don't get that in your head. Bethany's singing it. You know what? I'm going to make this a dotted line, not because the directrix is not a dotted line, but I just want to make sure you guys can tell the difference between. All right. There we go. It's almost like I read your mind, and I was left bored. It was mean. I apologize. Yes, Holly. Yes. This is a horizontal parabola. So information is immediately given to me. Not only is it horizontal, but I can also tell which way it opens. Does it open right or left? It opens to the right. The focus is always inside the parabola. So I've got a positive horizontal parabola. Yes? No, because I could have the focus is 3, 8, and I have no idea. I have to have two pieces of information, the directrix. The directrix blocks it from, it tells you which way it's got to go. Right, so going off here, do not write this, right? This would be super ugly sketch, right? So I've got 3, 8 right here, correct? You okay with that? I need one more piece of information. Give me a number. Yes. 7, okay? X or Y? X equals 7 is the directrix. So if x equals 7 is the directrix, suddenly my directrix is here. I know it opens to the right. X equals is a vertical line. X equals -3. No, this is a horizontal parabola because my directrix is here. We'll see. Maybe you'll see a little bit more. So x equals is a vertical line. Are you okay with that? So the directrix is right here. It's always a line. So this one's, they're both x equals. That's annoying. Okay. But if it says x equals, that will make a vertical line. If it says y equals, that will make a horizontal line. Okay. Well, the parabola is always the opposite of what the directrix is. So if the directrix is vertical, the parabola itself is going to be horizontal. Right? So here, our directrix is horizontal, right, on this picture, which made our parabola vertical. Okay? So what I said was, the question was, right, if your directrix is horizontal, your parabola will be vertical. If your directrix is vertical, your parabola will be horizontal. Elias? Might be, but it's okay. Okay, so if instead we said x is 9, then my directrix would be here, and it'd have to open that way. Elias, you're just giving me what-if scenarios, man. We can do this all day. You tell me what's going to make it sink in. You got to give me more than that. That's the same. That's the same thing. It would still. It depends. There are so many examples up there.
What if it's like directly onto face up and around?
What is? It depends on where the focus is.
Oh,
Okay. All right. Any other? You got to have two pieces. If you only have a directrix, if I know my directrix is here, I don't know if the parabola is here or here. I need the focus, and it'll tell me. If my directrix is here, I don't know if the parabola is here or here. I need the focus. It'll tell me. Solaria? Holly? Nope. If it's a vertical directrix. A horizontal directrix can exist. That'll be y equals. Yes. That's on that chart for vertical parabolas. You look at the equation for a directrix, y equals k, minus 1 over 4a. Okay. All right. We okay though, guys? I just with the graph right now. Moving on from the graph. My focus is 6, 0. We can all plot 6, 0. I hope we are in the right class there. Okay. Okay. Seth, Michael. X equals -3. We okay with that vertical line? So from this, we've determined that it is a right-facing parabola. But we can also determine something else super easy, which is what? Holly? The vertex. Where's the vertex? Between the two. Okay? So what is exactly between these two? Careful. What is it, Elias? No. No. Somebody's gonna say no. Somebody's gonna say it, and then somebody else will say how. It's altogether 9. Altogether from here to here is 9. So 4.5 away. So I need the vertex as a point.
4 zeros. 4.50. 4.5.
So you guys are saying me 4.50. That's halfway between them. Come on. 1.5. Thank you, Colin. So yes, you can do either way. You guys can go either way, whichever is easier. Are you guys okay with finding the distance between them was 9? Right? From here to here. Half of 9 is 4.5. Okay? So you can either subtract 4.5 from 6, or you can add 4.5 to -3, and you'll get that 1.5. So here's my vertex. 1.5, 0. What letters did that just give me? From the formula? H and K. That gave me H and K. There's only one more variable in the formula. What is it? A. I just need to get A. That's it. Now, if we use the books method, I'd have to find A and then convert it into P and then use that. Don't want to do that. That's ridiculous. Okay? I think they did it because of the fact that it makes it so there's a less steps to solve for P than there is to solve for A. But then at some point I'll have to still convert it to get my A, so it's just, I don't see why. I get it, P is easier to solve for than A if I actually showed you how. But then you'd have to do a conversion. That's dumb. That's dumb. Okay? So instead, let's just solve for A. So the question is, once again the logic, how far is that? Both of those. Precisely both of those. I just got tingles because of the fact that you guys both answered the correct answers opposite each other. Okay? So, Sione is right. Holly is right. That distance right there is 4.5 according to Holly, but that distance right there according to the graph is 1 over 4a. If two things are the same, what can I do with them? No. If two things are the same, mathematically, what do I do with them? Now I'm saddened again. My tingles are leaving quickly. Riley? Mathematically, if two things are the same, my other countries are not responding. Do we know? Equality. They equal each other. You say, of course they would. Okay? So this is both. So we can say 1, whoops, that's a big 1. 1 over 4a equals 4.5. Now we need to do this math carefully because you guys get lost for some reason with reciprocal properties. Okay? Destiny's already making an ugly face at it. She's going to say I was just stretching, but it was an ugly face at it. Okay? All right. All right, guys. How do I solve for A? There are a couple of different things you guys can say. What am I going to do? Elias, and if not Elias, then Sione. Never mind, he pointed at you. No. There's no substitution. We have to solve literally for A. It is, but it's also the whole thing is in the denominator. Destiny? But that'll leave A in the denominator. How about if I'll give you guys, Isaac? Multiplying by 1 will not get rid of anything. That will also not get rid of anything. How about if, Elias? What if I do this? What do you guys think I do? What do I do if I do this? Now there's an equal sign between them. What do I do? Cross multiply. Okay. 4 times 4.5 is 18. We're going to pick up this problem tomorrow. I'm just going to write up to right there. You guys copy down what you'd like, but I will continue that tomorrow. What's up, Elias? No. Oh, yeah, right here, yes. Yeah. Thanks for watching my video. Make sure to like and subscribe.